USD kept pushing up higher based on the news that we had yesterday. So there was CPI Consumer Price Index was released yesterday, and also the European Central Bank had a conference, which basically we expected the rate cut, the rates should be the same, but also like listening to the conference, there was still expectations of perhaps there would be no rate cut, right? And the rate cut will come on the dollar instead. So based on that news, the euros pushed up while the dollar was still consolidating. It pushed down, but it was still in that same range. And the first thing we have to understand with this rate cut and interest is the higher the interest, the better it is, the better returns that foreign investors get, so which will attract foreign investors to that said currency. So, for example, if uh, the U.S. Fed is pushing interest rates higher, we are going to likely see higher prices on the dollar because now people want to buy it because they get more return on their investment and vice versa. So I hope that makes sense. So just in case you're having troubles understanding and saying how does this affect me on the market, that's how it affects you on the market. So it's always good to keep an eye out for the news because that's what moves the market. Our technicals is just to align with the fundamentals so we can have a better chance of winning. That's all it is. So we always have to pay attention rather to our fundamentals always and always and always because that's what moves the market. Have you ever seen the market move after an NFP release? Phew, you'll be happy you were there. Okay, but I mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As you can see, let's look at this uh, mechanically. What can we see? So we're swing wise, as we've been saying, every day, every day, every day, until it changes. We're not gonna say anything different. This is a bullish trend, right? So we have here this breakup structure. We have our pullback, our swing low, our swing high. Here we had the grab of liquidity. Now we're just having push up, and then we came into this range. As you can see, we have this first trend line touch of the descending high, second one, and the third one. So people would be here looking for sales. So now we know we have, okay, stop loss is resting here, which can also be a target for price. Why? Because we're still bullish structure wise and looking at the order flow, right? So unless we see anything different, we don't want to start looking for sales. I don't call top on things until it gives me a reason to. And if we look at this is a monthly open level. I keep talking about these open levels, guys, every day. I keep screaming about these open levels. These are beautiful places which can act as support and resistance for us to trade off from. So guys, pay attention to opens. So look at this. On the lower time frame, you could have caught a beautiful trade on this, right? So okay, we know, okay, we're in an uptrend. We broke the monthly open here. We have liquidity resting underneath. Now we came into that monthly open. If you want to be aggressive, once it came in, rejected it, you put your entry right here, your stop right underneath. Okay, put your stop right underneath, and then your stop should come underneath this market structure, right here. So, and then you can just target either this quarterly open, which will give you a 1 to 2, right? So you will just still be in that trade right now according to the trend and everything. So guys, this trade, not a bad trade, right? If you are taking it, right? So remember, we marked this place from yesterday and we said this has the potential to push the market up higher, right? So I would only look for short after we've broken this level, use the monthly open as resistance, and then we can start to sell. But right now you can see we're using it as support. So guys, always adjust to whatever the market is telling you. Be present in the moment. Don't take your bias into the market because you will just get shot in the foot. Simple as that. Okay, if we look at dollar index, right? So dollar index, I mean, what can we say about this, right? We've been screaming for months now, or for weeks, even a month or more. Okay, we're in a bearish trend, right? We're in a bearish trend. We came into demand, and once we came into demand level, it's fine for us to start. Okay, perhaps we see a reaction. So we saw that reaction once, twice, three times, four times, fifth time, and with every push into this area, the bears keep showing strength, and while the bulls keep showing weakness. So for me personally, we don't need to force anything. I'm not looking for a buy on this market for now. I'm looking for it to take out this lows. Perhaps we come to this low right here. Perhaps we come to this low right here. We can take it out also, right? So, and then we still have extreme lows resting and resting. So for me, I'm not looking for longs on the dollar. I'm just looking for shorts. Perhaps we can get it from here. Maybe we get a retracement into this area, right? Which is also nice because it grabbed liquidity before this push down. So from here, looking for shorts from here would be nice for me for today on the dollar pairs. So we get that retracement maybe, and then we can look for those further shorts into the downside for today till next week, which will signify that longs on our XXX USD position, right? So if we come to GBP USD, right? I mean, we've been screaming about this. So we were swing bullish, right? And then we came and made this consolidation pattern, which is 1, 2, 3, and we sold off. Now we have this extreme high, which also coincides with the quarterly open, right? This was our liquidity high. We grabbed liquidity, we pushed down. Now we're coming back again. So we might have exhausted liquidity here, because if you look to the left, you can see right here we have this descending highs, right, and this trend line liquidity, which we could just grab, respect this supply, and start to sell off from there possibly. So let's watch for that. I'm looking for higher prices on GBP USD, which is in line with me looking for lower prices on the dollar. If we come to NZD USD, I mean, what can I say? I've been screaming about this for weeks now that I'm only looking for a buy. If you're looking for a sell, good luck. But for me, I'm only looking for a buy. Why am I looking for a buy? I've been screaming this, I've been screaming this, I've been screaming this. We have a range play, a perfect range play here. We took out the high of the range, we took out the low of the range, right? And from that 25%, all I want is buys. From 75%, all I want is sells. As simple as that. I was waiting for market to come into this order flow, respect the order flow, use this 25% as support, and then we push up, but it never really came into it. So that was a mistrade for me. So I was okay. So yesterday, if you were here, I was expecting this liquidity to get grabbed. Perhaps we connect to this supply and then we start to push up. The liquidity was grabbed, but it was on. It was in the morning, right? Once we grabbed that liquidity, we didn't connect to that supply level, so which didn't give me that final confidence to enter the trade. So I just let the trade go. You could have found an entry from here, right? You could have just done this. If you could have just done this, found an entry from here up on this, right? So we had like this push, right? So this push down, we had this push down. This was our change of character. So it push up. Now once it comes to retrace, perhaps we get a deep retracement, and then we find that entry to take out this liquidity high and this high and come into this level of supply, which is my final target, which is also the 75% level. Okay, so let's see how it wants to play out. If it gives us that entry, beautiful, right? If not, we just let it go. AUD USD, what can we say? I mean, we took out the highs. This is just wonderful, wonderful, right? Wonderful, wonderful. Now we're just going higher and higher. I'm not looking for any shots on this thing. If we want to call our target, we can have here this liquidity high as our first target, and then we have here also as a target point. So these are target areas that we can keep an eye out for. So if we get there, we can get a retracement, perhaps back into this area, into this quarterly open as support, and then from there we start to buy. So you can see market was just impulsive yesterday. I was also looking for a sort of deeper retracement, perhaps using this area as support and pushing up higher, but it never really came. So you cannot do anything with that. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. Never chase, never chase. There's always another opportunity. I'm sure, right? You will get better opportunities, sweeter trades that you can take. So why chase? With BTC USD, right? So this was our target. Our target has been hit this morning. Yesterday we hit TP actually. So I still had the position running, so that just closed. So for about a 1 to 5. So let's see what it wants to do next. It still has more potential for upsides, right? Look at this, open areas. Open areas is bumping the road, is bumping the road, bumping the road. So I expect we get a retracement because this is a strong area. Grab liquidity before breaking structure. So perhaps we get a retracement from here, and maybe we take out this liquidity. It gives us another opportunity for another entry. So let's keep an eye out for that, and let's see. With XAU USD with gold. So yesterday we had this sweep, right? This sweep of these lows, and since then it's just been moving slowly from this area of supply. So you could have looked for a sell to take it to this low, but now that that move has happened, now we're just looking for higher prices on gold. There's nothing else. If if it fails to make higher prices, perhaps we can come get a deeper retracement. That would be nice. Maybe we'll get a deeper retracement, build liquidity here, get a deeper retracement into here, and then from there we start to look for those buys to the upside. Okay, because that's all we want to be looking for right now, just buys. On USD CAD and USD CHF, I want us to discuss something. So this was a potential trade for me yesterday on USD CAD. Why is that? Okay, if we look at this, swing wise we're bearish, right? Swing high, a swing low. Okay, now we've retraced. If we look at where we retrace into premium, right? Let's change this. We retrace into premium, and then what do we want to look for from premium? We want to look for sells. Okay, now we come to the lower time frame, right? And then we see, okay, what can we see here? On the 4 hour we broke this structure, right? So this was the pullback. Okay, actually we didn't, yes. So that's another thing, we didn't break the structure. So on the 4 hour swing wise we're bullish, which is fine because we understand, okay, our underlying trend is bearish. So we want to look for those new lows, right? Since we're failing to make a new high. So we broke the structure here. So it was our pullback, and now we had this pullback which didn't take out this low, and we couldn't take out this high. So this is just like internal structure just moving, and we had this internal liquidity being grabbed, right? So once we had that internal liquidity being grabbed, we had that change of character from here down and then pushing right back up. So my problem with this trade, why I didn't take yesterday, was, if you can see this, you can see how wide the stop loss is, which is not usually my problem if I have a good target. But my problem here is I don't have a good target. I would like to target this equal lows, right? This lows that are left behind, but then I would barely get a 1 to 2, which doesn't fit with my risk appetite. But if I get a retracement, perhaps a liquidation of this high, and then my entry can come in somewhere around here with my stop being here, I would be more comfortable. You can see how quickly that changes to a 1 to 3. That is just what I'm looking for. So basically I'm looking for that retracement, then we can sell. So that's a similar story with USD CHF also. If you can see here, we even have the monthly open being respected, which gives me a stronger confidence. We took out the liquidity, monthly open being respected, we sold off. Once we get that retracement, that's what I'm waiting for. I would just look for short position rather from somewhere around here, and then my stop will be right here to target a new low, right? Something of that sort. Guys, don't play with your stops. These are very important things. So if it doesn't match it, don't go with it. Okay, it's always very important to keep that in mind. If it doesn't match it, don't go with it. Let's look at GBP/NZD, and then we look at a yen pair, and then we call it a day. So with GBP/NZD, right, what can we say? We're looking for longs, right? We're looking for longs, but we're not in a hurry. Never be in a hurry in the market. You're in a hurry in the market, you're going to get burnt. We're not predicting lows on this thing. Once you can see this descending trend line, it's an uptrend, you can see a descending trend line. These are the markets I love to trade. Okay, so once we start to see that break of highs, breaking of the highs, breaking of the highs, right? We just want to start looking for positions, right? We just want to start looking for positions. Once you start seeing those break of the highs, once you start looking for positions, we have our quarterly open right here. We have our yearly open right here. So guys, always mark these areas: yearly open, right? Quarterly open, which also is a 3-month open, right? We have our monthly and weekly open right here. Okay guys, please mark these positions. Don't be lazy. They work. Okay, they work. They can change the story. They work. They work. Okay guys, so let's see what happens here. We have liquidity resting right above it. So, and then we have the strong area of demand. So I don't mind, we just wait and see and see and see. Perhaps from here or from here we might get that new position that we would like to take. Okay, let's look at the yen basket and then we call it a day. So because of time, okay, so with the yen basket, you can see we're in a downtrend. As clear to see, right? It's clear to see for everyone, right? And then we have this descending highs coming to this yearly open, which is acting as an area of support. We have liquidity right above it. We grab that liquidity. So now all we just want is that change of character. Once we see that change of character, guys, we're in yen longs, and that will be XXS JPY shorts. Don't forget, guys. So once we just start to see those change of character, we might start to look for the higher prices on this market. But if not, we just assume support wants to be broken, similar story to the dollar, and then we just keep on going lower and lower because we still have this area underneath and this area underneath. So I wish you a wonderful trading day. Have a lovely weekend. We'll speak soon.